So in the previous video, we had coded our user's current location. In this video, we are going to try to get the user's current location using Navigation.geolocation. So let's do that. To do that, we're going to need to go into our home route store. And I'm just going to create a new action. I'm going to delete this action that we have here. I'm going to create a new action called, let me remove this also. And I think let me just comment my code also. So these are my constants. And I have my actions here. And I'll put my action handlers here. So the action we need right now is to get the user's current location. So I'll just write get current location. And I need to put this in my action constants also. Save that. Now let's create our action. I'm gonna export default, export function get current location. I'm going to return dispatch. Okay, this is an arrow function. And I'm going to, like I said before, we are going to use Navigator.geolocation. So what is this? The Navigator.geolocation is simply a read-only property that returns a geolocation object. So we're going to use this geolocation object to display our user's current location. So we're going to say Navigator.geolocation get current position. Position. This will be the result that we get. Then now we're going to do simple Redux stuff. I'm going to dispatch my action, type get current location, and my payload is going to be this position. Okay. One more thing we need to do is to handle the error also. So I'm just gonna say error. And console.log the error message. We need to enable high accuracy. I'm gonna set this to true. timeout 20,000 milliseconds, and then I'll have the maximum age. So the maximum age, what this does, it simply indicates the maximum age in milliseconds of possible cached positions. If you don't define it, then it won't, your app won't be able to take positions from the cache. So I'm gonna say maximum age 1000 milliseconds. Okay, we're done with this. So the next thing we need to do now is to create our action handler for this action. To do that, we just need to type function. Now we're going to handle get current location, and we have the state action. I'm going to return update state. Then we need to pass this payload inside an object called region. You remember before we're using the region to display our user's location. So now we're going to get this region from Redux. So I'm going to type in region, and I'm gonna assign it to action.payload. For now, I just want to see how my object looks like. So next thing I want to do is I want to assign this action handler to the action. And in order for me to use this inside my components, I also need to map it here. And I also need to import my action. So I'm just going to call this action when the component mounts. So on component did mount, I'll call the action. Okay, now let us test our app. So I'm just going to refresh this, Command R. Oh, it looks like we have an error. It's on line 23 in home.js. Oh, I must have missed this out. And this is supposed to be geolocation. I'm just going to save this and reload again. Okay, so it's working. So I'm just going to go to the browser and check my logger. So this is how my object looks like. I have a key code coords, and inside I have the altitude, the latitude, and the longitude. So this is basically what we need. So based on this, I'm going to create an object that we can use inside our map container. We need to create an object which looks like this. An object which looks like what we had coded in here. So let's do that inside our store. So we already have region set up here. So I'm just gonna remove this first, and I'll need my latitude. Which I'm going to set to action.payload. And what's the key? Just gonna copy this. Dot latitude. And next we'll need the longitude. Copy this. So I'll also need the latitude and the longitude delta. So to do that, firstly I need to import dimensions from React Native. So dimensions will give you the main size of the window. So I'm just going to create another constant here called aspect ratio. It's going to be equals to width divided by height. And I'm going to get the width and height from dimensions. Const is going to take it from dimensions. Okay, now I'm going to create a constant called latitude delta. Which I'm just gonna give the same value that we put here. And for my longitude delta, I'm just gonna do, let me just put this at the top. So my longitude delta is gonna be my aspect ratio times the latitude delta. Okay, so now we need to create these keys: latitude, delta, and I'm going to set it to that constant. And I'll do the same for the longitude delta. Longitude delta, and I'll pass in this constant. Okay, let's refresh to see if we have any errors. we needed to set the initial state of the region as empty before we continue. So that's why we're getting that error. So now this is set. The next thing we need to do is go to our home. And previously we're getting this from this constant, but now we want to get it from the props. So we're just gonna say this dot props dot region and save and see if it works. Refresh. So it looks like our map is initializing before we get the current location. So we need to put a condition here. Our map container will only load if we have this object. If we have this key in this object. Let me just copy this. This is true, then we will render this. Let's refresh again. Okay, no errors. So now we're getting the user's current location. So the next thing we want to do is to create a search box. We want to create input fields where the user can type in their pickup location and their drop-off location. So to do that, inside my home route components, I'm just going to create another component called search box. And I'll create an index.js, which will be the component itself. And I'll also need to style the component. So I'll create search box styles.js. This is going to be a stateless component. So I can't keep doing the same thing. So let me just copy some of the things I have here and paste this. I don't need this. This is going to be stateless component. So let me just change this to export const search box so equals to an arrow function. And I don't need this. I don't need the render also here. Just gonna return a view. Okay, and I'll export the search box component. So where am I going to use this search box component? I'm going to import it inside our map container and just paste it after the map view. Let me import it. Just gonna import search box from search box. I also need to import the styles. I'm going to import styles from just copy the name here Now the next thing we want to do is to create styles for the elements we are going to put inside our search box. Now to save time, I've already created some styles for our search box because I want to keep this video short. So I'm just going to copy them and paste them inside our search box styles and save this. Okay, so our view will have style is equal to styles dot search box. And I will also need a text element here. With a style of label. No, just say pickup. Then I'll need to use native base elements like the input group. So I'm just gonna import some things from native base. Import. I'm going to take the view also from native base. View. I'm gonna need the input group. I'm going to need the input. Inside the input group, we'll have our input item, which is some styling also. And this will be input search. And we're going to have a placeholder. Choose pick up location. Okay, I'll save this and see if it works. We have an error on line 23. Oh, I don't need this. Save. This is supposed to be in uppercase letter. So save this. Refresh again. I'm just going to increase the top position here to 60. Let me see. Refresh this. So we have our input box here. Now the next thing I need is to install some icons. So in order for me to do, I need to use font awesome for the app. So in order for me to do that, I'm going to install React Native vector icons. So I'm just going to grab it from this repo. I'm going to copy this and paste it on my terminal. Okay, and I also need to run React Native link. Just going to link our vector icons. Oh, I think I made a typo there. Let's link. Okay, so now everything is linked. We can go ahead and import icons from there. So I'm just gonna import icon from React Native vector icons, and the icons I need to use is font awesome. Okay, so inside our input group, I'm just gonna put in our icon here, and I'm gonna give it an icon, and the type of the icon is a search icon. Give it a size of 15. And I'll give it an orange color. Okay, save this and refresh. I think we have to rerun our application again. Okay, so now it is finished building and our icon is set up. So now I just need to fix this styling issue. I'm just gonna save view. I'm just going to wrap my input fields inside a view, which I'll give a background color. Style is equal to styles dot input wrapper. And save. And now we have our input box. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to do the same thing for our second input box for the drop off location. So I'm just gonna copy this and paste. Since I already have the styles, I'm just gonna copy this and paste it here. So this will be our drop off. And our placeholder will say please choose your drop off location. Save this, reload. Okay, now it's working. So now we have our input boxes ready, and we are also getting the user's current location. So in the next video we're going to use Google Places. So that's all for this video. I hope to see you in the next one.